Hi, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, Creating a Website for Your Nonprofit Tips, Tricks, and Tools. My name is Marc-Antoine Lebert. I'm the Director of Professional Services here at Yapla, and it is a pleasure to be able to show you around today. Before we get started, and while the last participant join us, let me quickly introduce you to the interface of Lifetorn itself. First of all, in the bottom right, you'll see two important sections, chat and questions. So feel free to leave your questions in the question window as we go through the webinar today. I'll come back to most of the questions at the end, but if I happen to see one that perfectly fit what we're talking about during the presentation, I might talk about it right away. Now in the chat window, don't hesitate to say hello, tell us where you're coming from, and what organization you're working for. It will be a pleasure to get to know you a bit. So on the agenda today, we're going to look at a few tips for creating a dynamic website and save time with the platform. First of all, we're going to take a look at the differences between the different type of website you can work with the platform, or a web integration, so to speak, either between a single page website, full website, or the complete e-commerce enabled website. We're going to look at the various options of how you can work to create your website with Yapla, either if you're doing it by yourself or working with our team of experts here at Yapla. We're going to go through a step-by-step demonstration to see how you can get started on your own, how the website functionality work, and how you can best handle them. Finally, we'll take a look at the various resources at your disposal and go through a Q&A session at the end. Before we get started, for any newcomers around among us who have never been on their Yapla account, or maybe are just getting started, let's have a quick overview of what is Yapla. Yapla is the most comprehensive platform for nonprofits aimed at freeing yourself from administrative tasks by automating a larger rate of the work, making payment processor available for all your various transactions in the forms, and allowing you to easily collect your payments online, centralizing and standardizing your data in a single centralized software, and in the end, allowing you to better engage with your community as you go through your communications with them. We have a wide array of featuring that automating membership management, be it for the registrations, renewal, member space, and tons of other feature around the membership. Organizing your events, ticketing, online events, in-person events, charity events, large conference, or whatever they might be. Donations to help you create your various donations campaign, collect donations, automate the generation and send of your tax receipt. The website features we're going to be looking more deeply into today to help you to build and manage your website. Yapla accounting to automate the generation of all the various bills you're going to be generating through the system and sending them automatically to your users. The newsletter portion, which helps you communicate efficiently with your whole community by using multiple information from the contacts, data, which we're not going to talk about a lot, but helps you create tons of more personalized, specific process if you have advanced or complex needs with the platform. And finally, contacts, which is going to be the endpoint for any of the features for Yapla, which you're going to be collecting informations on contacts with. It is automatically synced up with the newsletter app to allow for easier targeting. You can work with us. We've been working with nonprofits for over 10 years now. We've raised over $500 million at this point through the platform, processed close to 10 million forms, and we have over 60,000 nonprofits that are now working with us. So if you never gave it a try and this is your first webinar with us, just go ahead, open an account, and try it out for yourself. So beside all of the features I'm talking about, on the website itself, you will find tons of content. And if you like our webinar today, we have tons of other webinars that are coming up. And we have replay from past webinar to help you find all the information you need to get ready to use Yapla to the most of its possibility. We have a fall webinar, the fall webinar coming up for all the charities that are going to be working extra hard during that period. We have one on accounting coming up and an event-focused webinar as well. So keep in touch and check out our webinar section. So let's get going with a quick poll before we roll with the presentation itself. What's the state of your association website? And so I'm going to launch the poll in the comment real quick. And you can give us your, yep, I think the Livestorm is having a small issue loading the poll. So I'm sorry, I'm going to skip it for today. It is giving me a blank page on Livestorm. But don't hesitate to talk about it in the chat window itself. Basically, do you have a website? Are you satisfied with it? Are you looking to integrate different features or to redo it in the future? And just, yeah, what's the state of your website? So let's look at the multiple options you have when you start working with Yapla for your nonprofit's website. First of all, when you get started with the platform, you'll see you can easily make single page websites where you can use all the forms and features of the platform, automate your process, and be transactional in a few steps. Now, these pages are great to launch your campaign, your events, and tons of stuff. But if you want to go a step further, you might be interested in working with a full dynamic website through the platform that you can use to truly be fully integrated within Yapla to better promote your content and offer a wider variety of process through it. So let's take a look at the advantage of each. So the single page, which are automatically created when you use any of the key features, they are really useful because they will allow you to launch any process you set up really quick. You finish setting up an event, well, simply click web page and you're good to go. It's ready to use straight away from the get-go. You will be able to add those page through link, iframes, URL through your existing website and get your payment process working right away. Now, those single pages have the advantage of being really fast to deploy, really simple to use, and to integrate all of the feature, all of the transactional feature of the platform. But of course, they're limited since they're fully automated. They're not as flexible as a full website page. They don't allow for an SEO optimization or any form of advanced tracking of what you're going to do, for example, with like Google Analytics. And if you start to have a lot of events coming up, a lot of different campaigns, and need to use many individual pages, well, it becomes a bit unwieldy, right? That's where we're going to have all of that either in a complete website or in a subdomain website, which is going to regroup all of those items together. So what's the advantage of going for the full website with Yapla? Well, you're going to have all of the features to really be able to showcase what your organization do, put all of your news, information, content that is going to help you shine with your community, and you're going to be able to manage all of the different process all in one place. So no need to always go and update a link every time you want to send a communication. It's all going to be automated, and I'll show that in the demonstration portion of the presentation. Now, of course, working with the full website feature of the platform, you're going to have a lot of control over what you offer, be it through the base template that you're going to be able to work with, or if you want to go into a fully customized branding look feel of your website. You're going to be able to offer a more complete connected space. So in the single page, you can still give member access to their profile. They can update their info. But when you move to a complete website, any page in the website can be basically gated through this connected space. You'll gain access to the SEO and tracking tools that we mentioned earlier, and you'll be able to really customize your domain name to look more professional for your communication and to the eye of your many visitors. Now, of course, making a complete website, It's not done in 15 minutes. It requires a bit more planning, a bit more work, and it requires a direction to be truly interesting as an upgrade. So now we have tons of resource we're going to look at for that. And the both cases, we're going to have a lot of advantages over classic websites. What do we mean about classic website? Most people that come and meet us and that we talk to, they usually have either a Wix website or a WordPress website that was built from a template, and it's serving its role somewhat well, right? You have all your content on there, and you can promote your mission and activities. But when people come and meet us at Tiapla, what do you really need? First of all, often they don't have online registration and payments for their membership, their donations, their events, or any other type of transactional capacity on it. Or if they do, it's often through an external tool such as a PayPal or something like that, right? They don't have an interesting connected space where they can easily manage additional information, content, exclusive content for their different types of members. They don't have all the automation linking the website to the database, to the renewal process, to the contacts database for the newsletter down the road. It doesn't link to the accounting system to emit the bills. And lastly, there's all the dynamic display capacity as well. Since we link to the database, if you want to do, for example, a members directory or any other kind of directory type use of the data you have within your database, it's really simple to do once you're with Yapla because it's fully dynamically connected to the database. So all of those limitations I just talked about, online transaction, renewal, link to the database, link to the contacts, link to the newsletter, link to the billing system, it's all going to be fully native when you work with your Yapla website. So we've started to look at the various way you can work with the website, and there's basically two main use cases of a full website I mentioned with Yapla thus far, the full website and the subdomain. Now, a lot of people might have a question about what is a subdomain if you never looked at it before. Basically, a subdomain is when you have either a portal or a sub website where all of the connected content that is linked to Yapla is going to be fully automated. So you can have all of your membership registration, events registration, donation campaign, members only content, any other form or process that you want to use through Yapla, it can be fully automated in the subdomain. And often the subdomain is going to copy the look and feel of the external website. We're going to look at a few examples in a minute, but just letting you know, if you're not sure what a subdomain is, often you can think about it as a portal of some kind. You're like members.yapla.com would be a member portal, for example. We can call it whatever we want. It's just an example. So your full website is going to be real great to start with a full website on Yapla. If you don't already have a website, right, you're starting from scratch, super easy to do. That's a no-brainer at that point. You can create a fully dynamic website that is linked to the platform and have all of the various tools up and ready to go to use as best as you can. Now, the subdomain, it's usually aimed at people who already have a website. We just mentioned a few cases like that, right? You have a WordPress website, you have a Wix website, you have a website in some technology, but it's not fulfilling all of your needs when it comes to managing your organization. Well, in that case, building a subdomain can be the easy and fast answer, allowing you to quickly gain access to all of the features of the platform without putting too much time into it and working to redo tons of stuff that you put hours and hours in your main website. And a subcategory of that would be the private exclusive space. Some people will use Yapla specifically to create a space that is dedicated, for example, to your membership when you can access exclusive content, maybe some restricted content even that is only available to people who have paid their due and joined the organization. So, for example, we work with a professional medical association where maybe they have guidelines and forms and pro forma contracts that are ready to go for their members in that private space. So it is similar in mindset to the subdomain. It is really a way to strengthen how you're going to offer value to your community through the platform. So let's look at how we can work. Of course, if you're working with Yapla, if you have opened an account, you know that you can do everything you want in Yapla independently. We just launched a few weeks ago a new template that we're going to be looking at today, of course. And there is going to be a demonstration that is coming in a few minutes. That's going to be registered in a watchable again afterward. But beside that, there's tons of information to help you out. You can go through the online help center. There is thousands of articles to help you with any aspects of the platform. We have a full Yapla AI that is integrated directly in the software. If you haven't noticed yet, it's at the bottom right, the small robot-looking button. And really, it's doing a great job at pointing people in the right direction to find the information they need to get to the next step. Of course, you can reach out to the support team at support@yapla.com, which is also available through the help button in your account. So really, don't hesitate to get started by yourself if you want to either test the website or build it, or you don't have a website yet. Well, it will clearly be an immediate upgrade to what you're currently doing. Now, of course, I mentioned in the introduction, I'm the Director of Professional Services. What we do here in the professional services is creating full website for our users. We do custom branded website. We do website based on templates. We do subdomains. We do anything that you need to get up and ready. Have a turnkey project that is ready to go. We work with you from beginning to end. And this is really ideal if you have a more complex project, if you're looking to have an expertise added analysis, counseling, and guiding process along the way to make sure that you're making the right choice and that the result will be both professional, user-friendly, and as easy to use as possible, both for your team and for your visitors. So let's take a look at everything you know to get started with the platform to create and build your website project. First steps. It's really important when you have a web project to clarify what are the objectives. Often I meet people who are in an early step of their reflection, and there's no harm in that. But before getting going, you really need to know what are your targets? What are you looking to do? Why are you making a new website? We all get tired of our old website, but just replacing it, there needs to be some added goals to that so that the aim of the website is clear for everyone involved. A classic example would be, we're looking to grow our membership, or we're looking to make our donation campaign reach more people. We're looking to have more people participate in our training activities for professional. So really, it's super, super important to just list what you're trying to do with the new website and what you want to have up and ready. Now, after that, start listing out the page. Of course, there's a few contents that will be available for you straight away if you use the template. Basic pages linked to the various transactional module, but each website will have their own pages that aim at the specific content you're going to be producing. And optimally, all the pages you're going to list there are going to be linked to those objectives and in a way that you can make them a reality. So you want a list of what you want to offer as content, but at the same time, you're going to be planning the structure of that content. And that structure is how your users will reach the objective you're looking. So for example, if you want to collect more donation, what it's super important, let's have a donation button at the top. Let's have a nice picture to showcase the campaign. Let's have inviting text. Let's talk about what we do, and let's put that in a way that is intuitive for people to find it. Too often I go on the website and the donation campaign that people complain is not working. Well, it's hidden in the second level menu. You have to go on the supporters page, and then in the supporters page at the third scroll level of the page, then you have a make a donation button with PayPal, and then you're going to an external website. super hard to find, not well referenced, and not super inviting. The most important thing is to have that structure ready to guide people to where you want to go. If you want to attract new members, then you need to showcase why people want to be a member. What are you doing for them? Do you offer visibility, representation, content, expertise, training? Put that up front and center to be sure that it is what people are going to be thinking about when they land on your landing page. And finally, be sure to work on that content a bit. A big thing to know is no matter what the effort you put into all that website, um, people read, but people don't read that much. They don't read everything. And especially, we all do it. We read in diagonal, right? You're going to scan the page, try and find something flashy that guide you to what you're looking for. And if you don't find it, you're going to go through some frustration, right? We've all been through the experience of just looking on a governmental website, for example, and then going like, yeah, I'm going to search for that in Google and finding it in a better way. So all that is done by using what we call visual hierarchy. So by putting front and center what you want people to do. And the text is important, but having clear direction is what's going to make your objectives a reality. So I spoke a lot up to this point, and I saw a few items in the chat. So first of all, I think most people have the sound okay, but if you don't, I just recommend you double check your sound setting. And I saw someone mentioning my face is the biggest portion of the screen, and the demo the smaller one. In that case, just you have a little button if you click over it, and you can maximize the window for yourself. So I cannot do it for you, as the preference on my screen is already the demo window I'm sharing. Now, after that quick sidestep, let's jump into the presentation, the demonstration, of the various feature. So I'm going to jump into my account here, and I'm going to do something from scratch. So I'm just going to jump into the websites feature here, and I'm going to add a fully brand new website with the base template that is in the platform. So if you're doing that at any point in the future, that's how it's going to go for you as well. Now, of course, I know my way around the solution pretty well, but I'm going to do just a few things before we get going. First of all, I'm going to activate the appropriate language for the website. Of course, my account is typically in French, as you might have noticed from my accent. So let's do that. And here I go with my bilingual website. And as you see, it's super easy to activate a bilingual website on the platform. Now I'm going to jump in the page section here. This is where we're going to manage most of the website. And I'll switch back to English real quick. So this interface here is what you're going to be working with on a quasi daily basis when you work on your website and want to update and add pages. And I'm just going to publish a few pre-made pages here that are in the template to manage your member events, donations. This publication system is super easy to use. You simply click on it, it will publish or unpublish any page. And as we are on that line, you might notice there's an edit button to modify the page, a duplication button. So when you're creating a new web page, 9 times out of 10, you probably have a similar web page in your website. I use the duplicate button all the time, every day, super useful. It's right there. And the delete button. I don't use it as much. I prefer to unpublish pages unless I'm really doing a cleanup on the website, but you can, of course, delete those pages. Now I talked about deleting. You might see here at the bottom, the add a page. So this is how you're going to create a brand new page. If you don't want to duplicate an existing one, you can come in here. And if you want to add, for example, a menu item, you could just add a page separator. If you want to add a true web page, you could call it, for example, a news page. You come in here, add the page, display it or not in the menu. And we talked a lot about restricted content. Well, super easy. You have this quick button here. This is how you restrict content to members or not. A few other points about the interface. You might notice we have a second level here, and we even have a third level. This is how you organize the menu. So this is going to create first level, second level, and third level menu items simply by drag and dropping stuff around. And you can reorder the menu as well by reordering the pages. Really easy to understand. So here, if I got to this step, I already have like a base that is usable here that we can have a quick look at. But really, before going into the website and looking at it, I'm going to do some basic setup. So this is going to be more specific to what you're doing for your own website. But for example, I know I might want to come in and set my events to show only a category because my demo account has like 30 events. So I want to be sure that my events page is looking okay and doesn't have like 30 different things that have nothing to do with what we're talking about. So here, each of those pages are going to have modules. And modules are really how you work with the Yapla CMS, how you automate tons of feature. So in each of the pages, you can access those modules. And once again, we can limit access and stuff like that. But mostly, this is where we're going to work. So if you want to add a title to the zone with your events, well, you can just come in and type a title. So for example, seasonal events. I'm super creative when it comes to title, you'll see. And now, for example, I'm going to choose a mosaic. So that's one of the various way we can display the event in the pages. Then we have a few additional settings. I'm not going to go line by line. There's tons of information you can find about that in the Help Center or ask for a little chatbot here. But basically, I will want to show the picture, the address, maybe the short description, and I'll go with that for now. There's many other things you could set to call from the events functionality. Now, a lot of people in the webinar today have worked with Yapla before. If you haven't, I'm not going to go through all the explanation of the events, membership, donations, newsletter feature today. But if you have any questions, as mentioned previously, we have tons of content in the webinar section. So be sure to check them out if at any point you're unsure about what it is I'm referencing. So now, here comes the filter. So I'm going to say, okay, show my main events, which is the name I gave, as you see, truly creative, to my main category of event. And I'm going to just save and close here. Great. So now if I go on my English website and I go on my events page, it should decently have called all of my various events, except my first picture is not respecting my standard. I have to change that picture, but beside that, it called all of my events and it's ready to go with all the registration process we set up in the database. And a lot of what we're going to be doing with the Yapla website is going to be based around that simple principle, calling content into the website so that it shows on the website and that it automatically updates when we change anything in the database. Now, you might have noticed on my WYSIWYG, I have a few zones like that that are delimited with the dotted line. All of those zones are what you can manage in the structure here. They're the different section of your pages where you can add, remove, and put various type of content. And a lot of them, as just mentioned, are fully automated. So for example, the header section here, well, it will show the various item we put in the header. So for example, I could activate the login so that my member can log into the website. It is not active by default when you open the website because probably members aren't set up on your own page, but you can quickly just add it. And maybe we want to be able to become a member. And I'm gonna add the social network as well. Just fill them out in your organization setting. And just by doing that, the module is gonna call all those information that are already set up in my account, and it's gonna adjust those items. And same goes for the menu here. The menu is going to be automated and call all the different pages we set up in the pages portion here. And as you might have noticed, when I modified my banner, there was a small message because here I'm using a master page. And one thing you might want to do if you're going to be working extensively with the websites feature of the platform is setting up that master page. So I'm going to give you a pro tip. You can go into the parameters of the website and activate this master page system. This is going to activate this is going to show the master pages here. And now you can come and really customize the template that is used to create all of the pages in your website. So if you modify, for example, the header here, it's going to modify the header in any other page you have that will use this model. So this is really where you want to build the core structure of your web pages, and it is already made for the template. But of course, if you're going to do something more personalized, you can come in here and adjust the master page behind it. And once you're done putting the various system you want in your master page, so for example, header, footer, menu, a main zone, a banner zone, and stuff like that, well, anytime you go and add a page, you'll see that you can add a page. And now I have a new option here. You can add one of the master pages you created. Now, I don't recommend going out and making like 10 of them, maybe 1, 2, 3 max, so that you don't, well, it just makes it simpler to update them as time go on, right? But you can use those master page to create any future page, which will be similar to working through duplicating that I showed earlier, but then each of them will be in an empty state that suits you. So we had a quick look at the pages and a basic first overview of the modules. A look at the master pages. Here, you'll see there's this customization section. Now, this is super important. This is where you can change the main colors of your website. So you see all of my website is mostly in red and somewhat dark blue. And this is where we can come and choose any color we want, and it will automatically update all of the items with those colors. And this is where we choose the font as well. So really give a quick look at customization, go and fetch your color X and input them in the system. You have other options if you want to go deeper into the customization. In the basic here, you will be able to input different CSS to adjust, for example, the body, title, buttons, and stuff like that. And if you know your way around web development, you can input a true CSS file in the advanced section, as well as a JavaScript file in the GS section here. But for today, this is way too advanced for what we're looking at. So just pointing out, that's where you do it. Okay, so we had a quick look at the modules and we say they are going to call the content from the platform. So here you have the articles. That's where you're going to call the content from. So for example, here I'm going to get my blog section here. You can create as many categories as you want. And this is how you're going to filter. So same thing as my event. I had a main event category. Well, now I have a blog category for my blog. And I can create as many articles as I wish. And then I put them into the blog section. And when I'm going to publish the blog article, it's going to go and fetch all of the published blog article. You can simply publish and unpublish content by hitting that little knob right here. Simple as that. It will add or remove them to the website from the page with the appropriate category. So let me keep this open real quick, and I'm going to open a second window with the website here, just to show you how you would go about to create a new section with some article you took a few minutes to write. So jumping back in here. I'm going to create a blog web page calling the blog category. As I said, super creative with the names right there. So let's do a blog section. And we're going to save that. And now I have this blog page here. Now, probably I want it just after the About Us section. I feel like that's the right place to put it. A, B, one after the other. And now in my main zone here, I'm going to go and fetch the articles, multiple articles, because I'm going to call into blog content. So I'm going to show multiple contents on that page. And we call that multiple articles modules. Now, there are tons of other modules. And of course, Even though this is a demo of the website, I sadly won't have time to go through all of them. But as you can see, a lot of them have super intuitive name. You want to put a footer, you go and fetch the footer. You want to have a banner, you go and fetch the banner. You want to have a header, tons of automated feature in the header system here. So a lot of them would be intuitive. And for the other one, well, don't hesitate to go and check the additional training content in the Help Center. So multiple articles. Here, I'm going to say, oh yeah, I wanted to show as an accordion because I like that for some reason. And then you have tons of little adjustments you can make as to how you want them to show on the page, how much you want them to show. But most importantly here, article display. This is where you go and fetch the appropriate category of content. So if you're doing the blog, you're going to come in here and fetch the blog. But if you were doing the administrative council page, you might go and fetch the CA page or whatever it might be. So now I went and fetched the blog page, and there are other way to filter it with keywords and groups. They're all different way of filtering and organizing content with varying features associated with them. But for now, let's just run with a category. So I will choose to display all of my blog article. I want the title and I want a few additional elements. And you could go and specify all the various fields that are here. So title, category, keyword, introduction, all of that. You can go and fetch the various field you want to show in the page. But I'm going to save with just a basic feature here. So I added my blog page. I told it to call my blog article. And now if I refresh my website here, I'm going to have my blog page show up and it will fetch the, for example, board of director content here. So I can have the various pictures of my board member, or I could have my articles about my networking event, which shows in my neat accordion form from the accordion module. So as you see, a lot of it is going to be really simple to use and plug and play. And as you notice, all of my title, text, and other visual elements will follow the guideline that we have set up in the CSS that is used for your website. So when you're creating any kind of content, you can just go and say, for example, oh, I want this to be an heading 1 instead of a normal. And now it will go and fetch the heading 1 format for the web page. Now, of course, we wouldn't put that as a heading 1, but it's just for an example of how you manage the various format that you're going to put in the website. Now, this HTML editor here, don't fear it, it's super simple. It's basically like a big Word editor, but you have access to web content specific options. So I'm going to just show you the 3 base feature most people are looking for when they start working with it. Let's say you want to put a link in a page where you can simply here choose any type of content, and there's a link button, or you can click Control-K, same as most website, and then I can just come in and paste an URL here. Now, I'm not going to do it because this is not aimed at being a link, but it's as simple as that. Let's say you want to put a downloadable content in there. Well, you can do pretty much the same thing, but instead of being a link to a URL here, you can browse the server. And on this server, this is the CDN that is in the apply. You can upload PDF, any type of file, really, and then use the browse server button here, go and choose one of those files for download. Simple as that. Let's say you want to add a picture. Well, there's the add a picture button right here. You want to add a little anchor. So an anchor being a way to navigate in a page. So maybe sometime you load a page, you notice the link send you to turn down a page. You can add an anchor with that. So really, it's way easier than it looks when you're first looking at it. And for all the tech-savvy people out there, if you have basic knowledge of HTML, you just click the source button here and you will switch to HTML mode, and you can go and add various type of content directly in there so that it is updated. So for example, if you want to add a table, a button, whatever element you might want to add, just click source and go and add your elements. So that's the basics of using the articles interface here. Now there's tons of added features and where you can put your SEO items and additional settings here you can put for how it's going to show on the website. But basically the important thing to know is the HTML editor. You want to use the formats that are preset so that it will all look the same on your website. Don't go and put the specific size in each of your paragraph. It's going to look super ugly. And then you put a category and you send it to the website. And same is going to be true when you work on your events. Maybe earlier we had a quick look at the event page and you saw the golf event. Well, the golf event is all parametered here in the event section, and you'll see the same publication system, the same categorization system. And when you go into the settings of your event, you're going to find quite a similar view to what we just had for the articles, which the HTML zone, where you can input any type of content to set up your events registration page. So those rules are really, really usable at large within the platforms, and they are a general guideline to how you're going to be working with it. Let's get back to our website interface here. So now we've looked at organizing your website, creating pages using the master template, customizing the color, creating the content with the article, publishing the contents within category. Let's do a quick jump within those other configs here. Most importantly, the configuration page, if you have to change anything later on, or if you want to link to a page to another website, choose to restrict the access, tons of stuff are going to be done directly in the configuration here. SEO. So there's 3 levels of SEO. We saw one at the article level. You have one at the page level, and you'll also have an SEO section at the site-wide level. So each of those can be used to really optimize the referencement of your website and be able to be more easily findable for prospective users. The external tools section here is super important. This is where you're going to go and link your Google Analytics account if you have one. So if you don't fear, maybe look into it. If you do, that's where you link them. And back at my, clicked on the wrong tab. Back at my pages menu here, there's one last page I skipped. So if I go into any of my page, you'll see after the SEO, there is the customization here. This is where you will bypass the page templates you created and the language page. So if you want to have language specific content on some of those pages, this is where we can come and change it. So we had a look at most of the features you need to understand to get going with the platform. But of course, as I mentioned, you will use all of the various features of the platform. So if you want to learn more about events management, membership management, donations, newsletter forms, stuff like that, feel free to go and check our other content. I'm not going to have the time to go deep into that today. As we see, it's already 2:43. But feel free to ask any question. And if we have the time, I'll get back to it in the Q&A in a few minutes. So let's get back to the presentation shortly. Few example of website we can look at. So here I'll show you a 3 example, a membership focus here, events focused, and project/donations focused here. So here, for example, you can look at the Canadian Network on Hepatitis C. They have their full website made directly within Yapla, and they offer a lot of way to, for example, go and look at their member directory with a profile for each of their member, an easy-to-use search engine, and you can go and check all of those profiles to find out what those people are about, what research they do, how they contribute to the community. They offer trainings and information and do a lot of representation for this network of professionals. And truly, they are a super lovely group. So don't hesitate to give them a check out if you're interested about hepatitis C. But really, it's a good example of how you can offer more value for your member. You can put them up front and center and allow people to find out more about them, learn what they do. If they are, for example, maybe you represent a chamber of commerce and you want to put companies up front, or you represent a network of kinesiologist and you want people to be able to find a professional, you can do all of that with those kinds of directory. Look here at the Canadian Club. If you don't know about them, they offer tons of interesting conferences on various business subject. So really, they use the events feature of the platform a lot to organize those various events. Go and give them a check if you want. And a totally different field here, we have the Youth Media Alliance. And so the Youth Media Alliance have various funds to collect donations for their initiatives. And so this is a good example of where you could go if you want something that is a bit more funky on the looks and feel of the website, and make use of the various donations feature and project management feature you can have within Yapla. Of course, there's tons of other example we could go through. The platform is truly varied, but one last thing maybe I wanted to give a look at before we leave this example section, something like a Mentec here. So we talked a bit about the subdomain approach to a website. So let me just add this real quick so we can see how it works. So all this website is not made within Yapla. It is external, but the users wanted to offer the member space within Yapla. So for example, if you jump into the member zone here, you'll see the connect.medtech. So that portion, that is a portal that is fully made within Yapla. This is where people will come and log into their file, manage their profile, and other stuff like that. So that's an example of a subdomain where we didn't copy the full menu, but in other cases, we could go and copy the complete menu of your website. So when people navigate between one portion of the other, it is fully transparent and they don't have the feeling that they're changing from a complete website to a subdomain. So quick parenthesis on that subject while we're at it. Now, let me just put that back in full screen right here. All right. So let's take a look at the resources. I mentioned it a ton of time during the presentation, but it's super important to be aware of it. Go and check out the Help Center. There's really tons of content, video, articles, picture, how-to tutorials, and whatever you might need to get going. It is there for you, and we know the first steps in the platform is where you're going to have the most questions. So really put it in your favorite and go on it sometime. You'll find most of the answer to your questions. We have the dedicated support team at support@yapla.com that is there to answer your more specific questions. We have the professional service team I'm going to talk about in a second, and we have tons of content on the website to show you various approach that people have to using Yapla. It is a large platform. People do tons of stuff with it, and each nonprofit sector has its own challenges and needs. There's tons of example in the content to inspire you. So let's do a quick, I had a trouble with a poll earlier. Let me try and see if it is fixed real quick. Otherwise, we're probably gonna skip to the Q&A. It's still giving me a blank window. Truly sorry about that. Well, let me talk to you about the professional service for a quick second then. Here in the professional services, we offer tons of I might have removed that slide. And anyway, I will speak about it with a blue slide in the background. But basically, in the professional services here, we offer a ton of help to create your website. We have a team of designer, integrator, project manager, and data specialists that are there to help with your project. We go through the whole website creation process, either be it through, as we mentioned, template website, or through custom design and creation of a fully personalized website. We help you through all these steps of the way, from making sure you are using Yapla to the best of its possibility for your organization, to making sure your website is well structured and people will find their way to the key content you have, your objectives we were talking earlier, set up for. We will help you through all of the trainings. So of course, today, as you saw, I went to maybe 1/10 of the various feature that the platforms offer. But if we do training sessions on the website together, of course, we usually do multiple training sessions to go through really all of the feature you're going to be using for your own organization. And finally, we do help with the launch and the management, change management within the organization to be sure that everybody on the team is well trained, is looking toward the launch of the new website and new platform. And we help with communicating all of that to the community so that you can start profiting right away from your new website. So if you have any need, if you want to go through a turnkey project with us, if you want to redo an existing website, or just if you need help and counseling on your project, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out at support@yapla.com, same place as all your questions, or you can reach out directly to me and my team. I'll leave you my own email in the comments here. Don't hesitate to reach out. Now let's take a look at the few questions we got, what we were going through. So I had a question. Can we have a bulletin board where people can ask questions and give answers to those questions? So a Q&A types, we can create, of course, Q&A type section. So if people send you a question and you want to show answer and then you show it in the Q&A, super easy to do. In the premium version of the software, there is a discussion board where people can ask various questions and other members of the community can go and answer, and yourself could go and answer in the forum board. So I would say that is something you could use for that. Or additionally, with the data portion of the platform, we haven't looked at it, but we can do tons of process where we will show content that is in the database on the website. So we could do a comment form that could go into the database, and then when you feel ready for it, you can answer it and publish both the question and the answer at one time. So that could be something that is custom designed for your website. There is not a native Q&A section in the platform you'll find in the module, but through the data module, we could custom create those kinds of content. We do it as well for example, member suggested content for a professional organization. We do it for a job board or various other needs like that. So it is something we can clearly do with the platform, but a bit more personalized. I had another question. Can we add any longer other than French or English? So at the time, Yapla natively offer French, English, and Italian, and other languages are planned in the future. Now, let me jump through the chat window to see if we had any additional questions, but directly in the chat. If I missed your question, just remind it to me in the chat. Maybe I'm looking through it a bit too quick, so it would be a pleasure if I missed it. But I think I just went through all of the questions we got during the presentation. In any case, if you have any further question as you go around and try out the platform and work with the various aspects of it, feel free to reach out to the support team. They are available to help you out. And yes, Louis, we will send additional information about the offering for sure. It will be a pleasure. Thank you all for being with us today. It was great being able to show you around how to use the website and what we can do with the new template from scratch. Looking forward to seeing you use the platform, and don't hesitate to reach out if you ever need anything. Have a great day, all of you. Thank you.